सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। So we have seen Shariratraya Viveka, Avasthatraya Viveka, Panchakosha Viveka, Atma Nirupanam. So now we know what is Anatma, what is Atma. Now we will see what is bondage. What is bondage? So the definition is given in verse number 137. Atranatmanyahmiti matihi bandha eshosya pumsaha prapto jnana janana marana klesha sampata hetuhu yenaivayam vapuridamasa सत्यमित्यात्मबुद्ध्या पुष्यत्युक्ष्यत्यवति विषयैः तन्तुभिः कोशकृद्वत्. So what is bondage? Atra anatmani aham iti matihi bandhaha. First line. What is bondage? Bandhaha. Atra, in this body, mind, intellect, etc., which is anatmani, which is nothing but anatma, these panchakoshas, these shariratrayas, which are nothing but anatma, aham iti matihi. Matihi, it's a notion. What kind of notion? Aham iti, this is me. So what is bondage? Bondage is nothing but a wrong notion that this Shariratrayam and Panchakosham, they are nothing but me. So what is bondage? It is a wrong notion. How did the wrong notion come into being? Ajnanat praptah. Bas. Ajnan. Did you find that? Ajnanat praptah. Asya pumsah bandha ajnanat praptah. This bondage is because of ajnanam, ignorance. And what is the result of this ignorance? Janana marana klesha sampata hetuhu. Which is the cause, hetu, of sampata, of fall. Fall into what? Klesha, miseries. What kind of misery? Janana marana klesha. So this ignorance is the cause of all miseries due to birth and death. Infinite number of birth-death cycle, which is nothing but miseries. And all this is because of ajnana. This ajnana has created bondage. This bondage in the form of a wrong notion in the mind. It is not a physical bondage. It's not that somebody has tied you with a rope, etc. It is a psychological bondage. This bondage is a psychological bondage, an imaginary bondage, a mind-born bondage. And this bondage has its root in ignorance. What ignorance? Not physics ignorance or chemistry ignorance. It is self-ignorance. What is the expression of this ignorance? Of course, the result of ignorance is suffering. But what is the expression? Yena eva ayam vapuhu idam asat. Because of this ignorance, this person, how does he treat this body? Ayam vapuhu. This vapu which is actually unreal. Asat. Satyam iti atma buddhya. He considers this body as, he sees this body with atma buddhi. Atma buddhi means, this is me. Atma always should be taken as I. So he considers this body as himself. And then what does he do? What does he do? Pushyati, ukshati, avati. Pushyati. He pushes this body, correct? And that is also true. Pushyati means he nourishes this body. He takes care of this body very, very well. Ukshati. He gives bath to this body. Now that doesn't mean that you should not give bath. This anatma. And then avati, protects, pampers this body. He thoroughly pampers his body because his understanding is, this is me. As long as this body is, I am. So I should do everything for this body. How does he nourish it? How does he preserve it? Vishayai. By the Vishayas of the world. In his life there is only one thing which is the most important, the highest priority, and what is it? The body. The Ishta Devata is body. In this temple, he has installed this Ishta Devata and he every day does Dhupa, Deepa, Naivedya, etc. Right? Vishayehi Pushyati, Ukshati, Avati. Just like an example is given. Tantubihi Koshakrit Vat. Like a Koshakrit. Who is a Koshakrit? Krit means a creator. Maker. What does he make? Kosha he makes. Kosha means? So we are talking of a silkworm. So like the silkworm with its own saliva, it creates a cocoon. So here kosha means cocoon. So the name of the silkworm is cocoon maker in Sanskrit. Koshakrit. So how does he make this kosha? Tantubihi, by the tantu, thread. From its own saliva, it creates that thread and then makes that cocoon. And the tragedy of this silkworm is it dies in that cocoon only. The very same cocoon which he has made to protect itself, to preserve itself, that very same cocoon becomes its death trap. In the same way, what about this man? Thinking that this body is me, actually is a trap, but he considers it as his home. Happy home, sweet home. And thus he gets trapped there and dies. Meaning what? That body identification is nourished. See, when it is said, he nourishes this body, etc., it doesn't mean that we should not nourish this body. The point is, you must take care of this body, because unless the body is healthy, no sadhana is possible. Body has to be kept healthy and fine. That is why in Ashtanga Yoga, the first thing is asana, pranayama, etc. Keep the body healthy. But what is being criticized here? Pampering the body. What is being criticized here? Intensifying the identification with the body. Otherwise, body has to be kept, healthy, clean. Shaucham is one of the values. But pampering is not good. So this is bondage. What is bondage? So what is bondage? Strong identification with the body. This wrong notion in the mind that I am this body. That is called bondage. But why this wrong notion is called bondage? What is the expression of bondage? Expression of bondage is helplessness. Expression of bondage is finitude. Expression of bondage is lack of freedom. Expression of bondage is suffocation. Expression of bondage is misery. And all these comes with this wrong notion. That's why it is called bondage. It's a mind-born bondage. So therefore, solution also is mind-born. A psychological bondage has to be treated psychologically. A physical bondage has to be treated physically. If somebody ties you with a rope, then how to get rid of that bondage? Physically only you have to remove the bond. Now here the bondage is in the form of thought. So many examples are given to make this clear. What are the examples? Rather stories. The story of that sheep and the lion. Remember? How many of you don't know this story? So that I can get an opportunity to... So everybody knows. So, this lion which grew up in the flock of sheep, thought itself to be sheep. So it grew up to be a sheepish lion. Then a wild lion comes. Then seeing the wild lion, this fellow runs away. Wild lion catches hold of him, thinking, why is this fellow running away from me? And then asks him, what happened? This fellow is shivering. So by that time it has acquired all the properties of a sheep. That ability to bleat, eating grass, everything it has learned. Because the role models are yadyad acharati sreshtaha. So this fellow asked, why are you shivering? Why are you running away from me? So this fellow said, please don't eat me, don't kill me. He has closed his eyes also. But you can't see yourself being eaten, you see. So closing the eyes. The fellow said, open your eyes. I assure you I will not kill you. You are not a sheep, you are a lion like me. No. Where are you and where am I? So the, wild lion was giving Tattvamasi. Tattvamasi Viveka. His fellow was not ready to listen. So then he took him to the pond. Look at your face and look at my face. So then he was convinced, yes, what he's telling is right. So then he was trained to roar. He was trained only to bleat. So I am Jiva, that is a bleating. So the roaring is the Mahavakya roar. Aham Brahmasmi. Isn't it? So after some time, he got all those wrong notions removed, and then he wandered in the forest like a true lion fearlessly. So the message of the story is, this lion was living like a sheep, though it was always a lion. So what did this wild lion do? The wild lion did not do anything. He did not create a lion out of a sheep. He just removed the wrong notion. Bas. So in life also this is all what you have to do. You are already a lion. Really, Swamiji? Don't take it literally now. Lion means Brahman. And sheep means Jiva. And what is that pond? Scriptures. You are looking into yourself. The pond is the scripture. Scriptures, Shastras. We are studying the Shastras. So when we are studying, about whom is the description? About me. So you are looking into yourself when you are studying the Shastras. So that is a mirror, that is a pond into which you look into yourself. And who is this wild lion? He is a Sadguru. And who are all the other sheep? They are not other jiva, they are sheep only. You can't convert it into a lion. Can you catch a sheep and make a lion? No, they are sheep only. Only this fellow, all those lions which thought itself to be a sheep, yes, they are the jivas. And those who ran away from Guru, yes. Only rare ones come to the Guru. Others all they try to run away, thinking they know better. So there are so many such stories. It shows that this bondage is only psychological. Another very famous story is that tying the camel. You know it. So this person, he was going along with the camel. So it was night, he wanted to halt. So he put a tent there. And now, what is that? Maybe he has gone to some friend's house or something like that. Then he said, my dear friend, this camel, I don't have rope to tie. Then the friend says, don't worry, you just act as though you have tied it. Let the camel see it, that's enough. So this fellow, he just acted as though he was tying. Then he went and slept. He came outside, camel was there. So the camel thought it is tied because he has seen doing something. Then he thanked his friend for giving his, for the night stay, etc. And as he was leaving, camel was not ready to leave. So then he told his friend, I don't know why the camel is not moving. His friend said, did you untie the camel? Then he had to do that act, as though untying. Then the camel started moving. So was the bondage there? It was never there. It was only a notion in the mind. So this way, there are so many stories told. The point is this, bondage was never there. It is only a creation of the mind. It's only a wrong notion. The whole sadhana is about removing this wrong notion. Should be very clear. But Bhagavan, please tell me, from where did this bondage come from? See, all those things I can understand. Rajju, Sarpa, etc. You misunderstand a rope to be snake. That I can understand because it is something other than me. But how can I mistake myself? Mistaking something else other than me, it can be understood. There is no light, so therefore that robe was misunderstood as snake and all that. That's fine. But here, what is that misunderstanding? It is misunderstanding about myself. How is it possible? I can't even think of it. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya said, yes. This bondage has come due to a great power of the Lord called Maya. So the Maya's entry comes now. Right. Who is this Maya? So now we'll just briefly see what the discussion is going to be. So Bhagavan is going to describe Maya, which is Trigunatmika, which has three types of powers. So in this there is a tamasic power, rajasic power, sattvic power. So what does this Maya do? With its tamasic power, it covers the reality. It is endowed with veiling power. And once the truth is covered, you don't know the truth, then the rajas projects the unreal as the real. So both of them, they do the jugalbandi. Tamas and rajas. Both together only works always. Tamas will ensure that you don't see the reality. Rajas, once tamas has done his job, now rajas can work. What is rajas' job? To avikshepa, to project the unreal as the real. So this is how the bondage has been created. So first Atma is covered by tamas, then Atma is shown as, Anatma is shown as Atma by rajas. So this is how the bondage is created. So now this is the thought flow. So now we will see what is this Maya. Verse number 108. Avyaktanamni paramesha shaktihi anadya vidya trigunatmika para karyanumeya sudhiyaiva maya yaya jagat sarvamidam prasuyate. So this is the definition of Maya. What is Maya? So that term is there, Maya, third line. Maya, Sudhiyaiva Maya. What is this Maya? So many terms are given. Avyaktanamni, Paramesha Shaktihi, Anadya Vidya, Trigunatmika, Para, Karyanumeya, Sudhiya, Yaya Jagat Sarvam Idam Prasuyate. So many terms are given. One by one we will see. First we will see Paramesha Shaktihi. What is this Maya? It is a Shakti. Shakti means power. It's a power. It's a power of whom? Paramesha Shakti. It is the power of the Supreme Lord. This Maya is a power of the Supreme Lord. So what is indicated? What is indicated is a power cannot remain independent. It has to always depend on powerful. Bala has to depend on Balavan. Jnana has to depend on Jnanavan. Independent existence it has not. So what is that line in Tattvabodha which says so? Brahmashraya Maya. This Maya depends on Brahman. By itself it has no existence. By itself it has no power. It depends on Brahman. So it is Paramesha Shakti. It is a power of the Lord. So what does it do with this power? With every power you do something, isn't it? What is it that it does? Second term, Yaya Jagat Sarvamidam Prasuyate. It is that power with which the whole world, Sarvamidam Jagat, Prasuyate, is born, is created. It is this power with which the whole world is created. When was this creation? When did it happen? No, it is Anadi. Can you see the term there? Anadi. Anadi means beginningless. It is a beginningless creation. Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, Srishti, Sthiti, Laya. It goes on and on and on. And this has been going on and on from the beginningless time. Because it is Bhagavan Shakti, Bhagavan is Anadi, so naturally Shakti also should be Anadi. Anadi. But what is its nature? Term number 4, Avidya. Avidya. That very same Maya at the individual level expresses as Avidya. That Maya, how does it express in the individual? As Avidya, as ignorance about oneself. Avidya has got second meaning also. This is a technical meaning. Vid means to exist. So Vidya means to exist. So Avidya means that which has no existence. That which has no independent existence is called Avidya. So Maya has no independent existence. Avidya. Then Trigunatmika. What is this Maya? It is Trigunatmika, made of 3 gunas. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Then Para. Para means higher. Higher than what? Higher than its creation. Higher than its creation. Always the creator is higher than the created. So the whole world has come from Maya. So the world is Apara, Maya is Para. Just like children are born from parents. So parents will be Para, children will be Apara. So therefore the children have to respect the parents. Matrudevo bhava, pitrudevo bhava. So from Maya the entire creation has come. So that extent we can say Maya is Para, supreme, higher. And then it is Avyaktam, Avyaktanamni, Avyaktam. Avyaktam means unmanifest, which cannot be known through the body, through the senses or the mind. Avyaktam, unmanifest, in a seed form, it remains. But now Bhagavan, you use all these terms. How did you know then? So, Karyanumeya, Sudhya. Sudhya Karyanumeya. It is something which can be inferred. It's an inferential knowledge about Maya. And who can infer it? Sudhya. Wise people alone can infer. What about whatever information we have gathered about Maya? It is an inferential knowledge. Inferential knowledge means what? You see the effect, so you infer about the cause. If the effect has this, then definitely the cause also must have this way. If the children are having these properties, then definitely parents also somewhere they must be having this. It comes. No? Seeing the effect, you guess, you infer about the cause. Karyanumeya Sudhya. Now the question is, how did you come to this inference? So one by one, let us see now. So it is Paramesha Shakti. It is a power of the Lord. It is a power. It cannot remain independent because only Sattvastu is Brahman. So if at all it has any existence, it has to borrow existence from Brahman or Atma, the Sat. See, whenever we are talking of the totality, we use the term Brahman. Whenever we talk about the individual, we use the term Atma. So what is Atma? Satchidananda Sarupa. What is Brahman? Satchidananda only. But whenever we talk about Sthula Prapancha and Sukshma Prapancha and Karana Prapancha, in totality, the term used is Brahman. Whenever we talk of individuality, we talk of Atma. Right? Both are one and the same. Just like the pot space and the total space. Both are space, But only with respect to conditioning, we use different terms. So therefore, now we are talking of the totality now. So therefore, Brahman. So this Maya gains its existence and power also from Brahman alone, because Brahman alone is Satvastu. So definitely therefore it should be Paramesha. It should depend on Paramesha. Paramesha here means Brahman. Paramesha Shakti. Then Yaya Jagat Sarvamidam Prasuyate. The whole world has come from that. Again, it's an inferential knowledge. How something cannot come from nothing. The world has come. We have to accept. We see the creation. So naturally the question will come from where has it come from? It cannot come from nothingness. So definitely there should be something. And that something is what we call as Maya. Again, it's an inferential knowledge. Then it should be Anadi. Why should be Anadi? Because the creation is Anadi. So therefore, Maya also should be Anadi. Then it's of the nature of Avidya. Why? Remember, who is doing this inference? Sudhya, wise people. So they very clearly know that once the knowledge comes, once the knowledge dawns, the world becomes mithya, it is gone. Only Brahman is there. So who is seeing this world? Ignorant fellows are seeing this world. What is the difference between an ignorant man and a wise man? It is all in the mind, isn't it? So naturally, this Maya should be a product of avidya, ignorance. Because the moment knowledge is there, it is not there. When ignorance is there, it is there. When knowledge is there, it is not there. Means what? It should be of the nature of avidya. Again, it's an inferential knowledge. Again, if you see the purpose of creation, what is the purpose of creation? The purpose is only one, to give opportunities for the jiva, ignorant jiva, to gain knowledge and to reach Brahman, to become one with Brahman. So that very process shows that you are moving from ignorance to knowledge. The whole purpose of creation is only to give knowledge to the ignorant jiva. So the world is meant for the ignorant people, so it must be born out of avidya only. Avidya alone is projecting this world. Ignorant mind's projection is this world. So therefore, this Maya should be avidya. Then Trigunatmika. Trigunatmika. How do you know that this Maya is Trigunatmika? Look at the creation. You will find these three. What are the three? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. How does it express itself? Tamas is by inertia faculty. All the things, in fact most of them, you will find that inertia aspect. Inertia aspect means it's just there. Table, it is there. Chair, it is there. Mic, it is there. It doesn't run away here and there. Thank God. That inertia faculty is what is called as tamas. That we see here. Second is doing faculty. The power to do also is seen in this world. Kriya Shakti is seen. Inertia faculty is called Dravya Shakti. These are the terms from Bhagavatam. Dravya Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. These three Shaktis we see in the world. Dravya Shakti is the power to be. Just be. It just exists. It doesn't do anything. The power to remain jada, inert. The second is the power to do, Kriya Shakti. Doing faculty. And the third one is the power to know. Knowing faculty, that is sattva. So sattva, rajas and tamas you very clearly see in the world. So therefore the inferential knowledge is the cause also should have these three. So therefore we can say Maya is Trigunatmika. Next is Para, higher. Naturally it has to be higher because everything has come from it. The cause is higher than the effect. Karana is always higher, superior than the Karya. Para. And then avyaktam, unmanifest, which cannot be known through the mind, intellect or the senses. So this is how, what you call, Maya is inferred. Can you explain what is Maya? Can you intellectually try to categorize Maya? Bhagavan says it is impossible. See the next verse, 109. Sannapya sannapyubhayatmikano bhinnapya bhinnapyubhayatmikano sangapyananga hyubhayatmikano mahadbhuta nirvachaniya rupa. This Maya is Mahadbhuta. Mahadbhuta means it's a great wonder. Anirvachaniya Rupa, you just cannot describe it. It is indescribable. We may try to somewhere or the other, we try to define, but still it is indefinable. Remember, this Maya is very, very similar to, now see, what is the first term used? Avyaktanamni Paramesha Shakti. This Avyaktam, somewhere we have heard. Where did we hear? While defining something, this term was used, avyaktam. Avyaktam term has come. While defining Karana Sharira, we have seen avyaktam. Remember? It came as, I think, sixth term, avyaktam. So literally speaking, the very same Maya expresses as Karana Sharira in the individual, unmanifest. So that is why Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji has not given a separate definition for Karana Sharira. That definition has been included in this. Since it was not clear, so we took it from Tattvabodha. So from the totality standpoint, that Karana Sharira is nothing but Maya. Doesn't matter even if you don't understand. The point is only this much. This Maya is something which cannot be understood. Intellectual comprehension is impossible. Why intellectual comprehension is impossible? That is proved here. You just cannot understand what it is. Whoever has tried to understand it, they have failed miserably. This much only we can say, it is a power of the Lord. Bas. There is no definition anywhere in the world, anywhere in the scripture, where you clearly define Maya. It's not possible. Exactly like Karana Sharira. How much ever you study, the doubts will remain. You will still ask, Swamiji, can you please clarify a little more? This is the thing. It is Anirvachaniya Rupa. It is just not possible. Why is it not possible? See, these are the reasons. Sat na api, asat na api, ubhayatmika na. So whenever the intellect tries to understand something, it tries to categorize, it tries to classify. In which category does it belong? Whether it is Chetana, or whether it is Jada, or whether it is Sat or Asat, whatever it is. Now here Bhagavan says, can you call this Maya Sat? No. Can you call it Asat? No. Okay, can you call it a mix of Sat and Asat? No. Sat na. Asat na. Ubhayatmika means a mix of Sat and Asat. Na. Why we can't say Maya is Sat? What is Sat? Independent existence. So who is Sat? Brahman. Right? So if you say Maya is Sat, then Maya becomes Brahman. If Maya becomes Brahman, then what is the need of giving a new name? Brahman itself would be sufficient. Correct? Another reason is, Sat means real. If you say Maya is Sat, then after the dawn of knowledge, there is no Maya. What is the definition of Sat? Trikalepi tishtati. All the time it should exist. But with knowledge, with the dawn of knowledge, Jagat becomes Mithya. Then, that means Maya is not Sat. Okay, then can you say Maya is Asat? Asat means non-real. You can't say Maya is Asat because from a non-real thing, the creation cannot come. All our suffering is because of what? Because of this Maya only. Bondage is because of what? Maya only. Are you suffering or not suffering? Is that suffering existence or non-existence? Very much. Swamiji is very much Sat only now. So you can't call Maya as Asat also. Totally non-existence, like the horns of a rabbit. Can you say that? Very much we are suffering limitation. So we very much experience it as Sat, existence. So neither can you call it Sat, nor can you call it Asat. Can you call it a mix of Sat and Asat? It is not possible because Sat and Asat cannot combine. Okay, maybe in the Sat terminology we may not be able to understand. In a different way can we try to understand? Bhinna api abhinna api ubhayatmika na. Okay, is this Maya bhinna? Is it different from Brahman? Or is it the same as Brahman? This is the question now. Now the first option. Is Maya different from Brahman? Yes. It cannot be called different from Brahman. Now suppose let us say Maya is different from Brahman. What is the definition of Brahman? It is Anantaha, infinite. Now the moment you say that Maya is different from Brahman, two entities are created. The moment two entities are created, both of them have to be limited. It means Brahman is limited. Got it? It can never be infinite then. Brahman will have a boundary beyond which there will be Maya then. The moment you say Maya is different from Brahman, Brahman loses its status as infinite. Are you able to understand? To become infinite, you have to be non-dual. There is a condition. Only one can be infinite. Two cannot be infinite. So therefore you cannot say Maya is different from Brahman. Then can you say Maya is Brahman? If Maya is Brahman, then why use this term Maya? You have to just say Maya, Brahman only. So it is Bhinna na, Abhinna na. Okay, then combination? Yeah, it is impossible. Third one. Sangha api ananga api ubhayatmika na. Can you say Maya is with parts or without parts? Now that is another way of trying to understand. Sangha. Anga means with limbs. Is Maya with limbs or without limbs? With parts or without parts? Now let us say, no, Maya is without parts. If Maya is without parts, how did we see these three types of division in the world? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. The very fact that there is a division, there is an inertia faculty, there is a knowing faculty, there is a doing faculty. These divisions we find. So what does it mean? This division must be present in Maya also. That means it is with parts. So you cannot say it is without parts. Okay then, fine, it is with parts. If it is with parts, what is the problem? Anything which is an assemblage of parts must have a beginning. See the logic. Anything which has been assembled will have a date of manufacture, isn't it? Because there is a time when things have assembled, when things were apart and then you assembled it. So it cannot be anadi. These are all the logics given in the scriptures. So you cannot say it is with parts, you cannot say it is without parts, neither can you say it is a mix of parts and no parts. That is also not possible. In short, if you have not understood, you have thoroughly understood Maya. That is the way to understand Maya, that it cannot be understood. So therefore Bhagavan Shankaracharya prostrates to Maya Devi, surrenders unto her and say, Maha Adbhuta, you are a great wonder, O Mother. Anirvachaneya Rupa. You just cannot be understood. You just cannot be intellectually comprehended. Though we experience it, we cannot understand it. It is exactly like dream. You experience, but you can't understand. There are so many things, not only about this Maya. The whole world is like that. Because this Maya is ununderstandable, What comes out also is something like that only. For example, is wave water or not? If you say yes, wave is water, then I will say, okay, bring 1 glass of wave. Can you bring 1 glass of wave? So that means wave is not water. Suppose you say, no, wave is not water. Wave is not water. Then bring a wave without water. If you say wave is not water, then you should be able to bring wave without water. That is also not possible. So is wave water or not? Ubhayatmika, no. There are so many things in this world which just cannot be explained. Again, our famous film theatre example. Who is crying? Is the Satvastu crying, meaning the fellow? In the film theatre, some tragic movie is going on. This fellow is crying. Now the question is, who is crying? Yesterday we saw it. Is the Satvastu here is the person. Asatvastu is the character, the movie character. Is the Satvastu crying? Satvastu need not cry. Because all the tragedies are in the movie only, which is unreal. Satvastu need not cry. Asatvastu cannot cry. Because it is Asat. Satvastu need not cry. Asatvastu cannot cry. Then who is crying? Who is crying? Ubhayatmika. But Sat and Asat cannot be combined. How can you combine the real with the unreal? Can you combine it? Nut and bolt and all that? Not possible. Then who is crying? You just have no answer. Of course, we use the term Sat identified with Satas, etc. That is fine, but really you think, who is crying? Audience is called Satvastu. Satvastu is not a stone there. The person who is seeing and crying, he need not cry, that cannot cry, then who is crying? That is Maya. Something, you just cannot explain it. Right? What is that identification? We don't know. It's a very, 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 very subtle thing that is happening inside, by which the Sat thinks that it is Asat. So it boils down to mind actually. What is this mind? Nobody knows. So very many times this mind is also called Maya. You just don't know what it is. But you don't have to be pessimistic, because you need not know what it is. You have to only transcend it. If you try to know throughout your life, you will never know. But what is needed is only transcending it. All the discussion is only for that. The discussion is not to know Maya, the discussion is to transcend Maya. That is why in the next verse, Bhagavan says, verse number 110, Shuddhadvaya Brahma Vibodhanasya Sarpabhramo Rajju Vivekato Yatha Rajastamas Sattvamiti Prasiddha Gunastadiyaf Prathitei Swakaryaih. Yes, this Maya can be destroyed. Though we cannot understand it, but it can be destroyed. Nashya, it can be destroyed. How? Vibodhanashya, it can be destroyed by knowledge. Knowledge of what? Shuddha Advaya Brahma Vibodhanashya. It can be destroyed by the knowledge of the Shuddha, pure, Advaya, non-dual, Brahman. The purpose of study is only this. The purpose of study is not to get a PhD degree. The purpose of study is not to understand Maya, it is impossible. Not to describe Maya, it is impossible. The purpose of study is to transcend Maya. Just like Sarpabhramo Rajju Vivekato Yatha. You are seeing a snake there. Now your inquiry can go in different directions. Either you can do research on the snake. Which snake is it? Is it a water snake or a cobra? I think the tummy is little big. it must have eaten a frog. I don't think it's a frog. The tummy is little more big. It must be a rat. I don't think rat. It must be a bandicoot. So when you do research, you write papers on it. But in this area, how can bandicoot come? It's possible because a lot of tapioca cultivation is there. Bandicoot loves tapioca. But why tapioca cultivation is done here? The mud is very loose. It's easy for it to grow. You write papers after papers. On what? This is what is happening now. Andhena niyamana yathanda. Papers after papers. PhD degree after degrees. Doctorates and this and that. All based on what? Asatva. So there is nothing there. Mental hallucinations are going on. Hallucination. One blind man giving degree to another blind man. That you are wise. Foolish man giving degree certificate to another foolish man. Parasparam bhavayantaha. Shreyah paramavapsyatha. Fool, enough. There is no snake there. What is there? There is only rope there. There is neither frog nor rat inside the tummy of the snake. There is no snake only, first of all. So therefore, don't try to understand Maya. Try to transcend Maya. As Ramakrishna Paramhansa used to say, when you get into a mango orchard, don't try to count the number of leaves, number of twigs, number of trees. Foolish fellow, mango is there ripe, eat it. You come to this world and do all this nonsense. The thing has to be done. How much ever you do analysis of the dream in the dream world, it's of no use. What has to be done? Transcend the dream. Don't try to understand the dream. The purpose of study is only this. Saying that intellect has a limitation, put a full stop and go beyond. Don't try to understand intellectually everything. There will come a time when intellect has to say, enough and no more. All the science is stuck here. Just don't know what to do. Things are made of molecules. Okay. After that, molecules are made of atoms. Okay. After that, atoms are made of electron, proton, etc. Okay. After that, there is only space. Only space is there. Nothing is there. They just can't go beyond. Stuck. What is stuck? Intellect is stuck. These things have been written thousands and thousands of years in our Shastra, Anirvachaniya Rupa. You can never understand. So stop this foolishness, surrender unto that Paramesha and go beyond. Put an end to it. You are struggling in the wrong direction, trying to understand the ununderstandable. You can go on and on and on. And Bhagavan also has lot of patience. Anadi Ananta. He is ready to give you millions and billions of birth to do your research. A time comes when you say, enough Baba. When am I going to come out? Bhagavan says, yes. If you are fed up with the toys of the world, then the mother will come to take the child. Isn't it? So what has to be done? Mama Maya Duratya, Bhagavan himself has said. Devi Hesha Gunamayi, Mama Maya Duratyaya. What is the way out then? Mame Vaye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarante. Oh, the one who surrenders unto me, he alone will cross. Eva is there. Eva means he alone. There is no other way. There is no other choice. Whatever yoga you take, ultimate is Sharanagati. All the self-effort in spiritual practice is to get convinced that effort will not take me further. But for that effort is necessary also. If you don't put forth effort, you may at the back of your mind think, maybe with my effort I can reach there. But when will you know that your effort will not take you there? Once you have put all the effort. So put all the effort and know that effort is useless and then surrender. Then the surrender will be complete. Till then the surrender will not be complete. And when the surrender is complete, you go beyond Maya. Mameva ye prapadyante Maya metam tarantite. So now how to cross over this Maya? Now here is a, what you call, tip given. How this Maya binds. Rajas tamaha sattvamiti prasiddha gunastadiyaha prathite swakaryehi. It's very well known that this Maya has got three gunas, Rajas, Sattva and Tamas. With these three gunas, how do we know? It's very well, what you call, it can be inferred from Swakarya, from the Karya, from the effects. Prathitaihi, it can be well known, it can be very well inferred, that's the meaning, Prathitaihi. Swakaryaihi, Prathitaihi. From the effects, it can be very well inferred that these three gunas are there. So how can you understand these gunas and thus understand the bondage and then come out of the bondage? This is the next topic which you will see. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.